All right, hey everyone, Jake here with Made for the Range, back on the Made for Range YouTube channel. Excited to be here just outside of Nashville, Tennessee. We are at SeeMore Putters, which is in Franklin. Really cool story behind the putters, something that I'm gonna make a bunch of social content about soon as well. The rifle scope technology would be the biggest hit, but also with the trend of zero torque or lowering torque or the effects of torque in general, SeeMore's actually been doing it for quite a long time. It's not the main point to talk about with SeeMore because that rifle scope technology is so cool, but definitely something that we'll discuss as we go through the fit. We got Sam Putt Lab here. Horace is our fitter. You also build, right? You do a lot of the builds? Yeah. So there's a good chance if you order a SeeMore putter or if you come to get fit here that you're gonna get fit and have your putter built by this guy. So yeah, let's just dive in. I've used Sam before, but give us a little background too as we go through for the people that are watching of just some of the SAM data and what we're looking at. And we'll see what we walk out of here with. I have no biases for you. Yeah, I will, whatever you want me to walk out of here with, I'm good with.
Best people I like to
that's it. I've got no bias here whatsoever. Cool. Yeah. All right, dude, let's do it.
So it's just pretty much on here. We have a little contraption. It's going to make sure that it's lined straight to this hole each time. So therefore, it also is knowing the loft and lie. So when I set this down, I am setting it as flat as it possibly can be, so that it's actually going to read whether you're coming a little, too de-lofted or a little lofted. It gives you all your numbers: loft, lie, hand position, whether it's a little too short for you. Yeah. There's a lot of things that we can tell just by kind of how you stroke this on the graph on here and what this shows.
Sure. So SAM is much more focused. So you guys know SAM it's kind of like quad and TrackMan, right? Quad is arguably better for club data. TrackMan is arguably better for ball data. It's the same thing with SAM versus like Quintech, right? This one focuses on the setup of the golf club itself and of the putter, less on the performance of the putt. So this is, again, in my opinion, I've used it for a while. It's a better way of getting a club set up for the player, and then maybe you move over to coaching in more performance stats with other stuff. So it's a really cool way to do it. But yeah, what are we starting off with though?
What do you usually putt with?
So I've got a double wide blade.
Okay.
With
neck?
With a double bend neck. So it's like 10 degrees of toe hang, something like that.
So we're gonna go probably something like this, just to kind of like get kind of a similar aspect of what you're putting with. Okay. We usually ask when people come in here to bring their gamer, but this is a little different situation. Sure. So if not, we usually kind of have a putter around here that's very similar to that, so I can at least get the general idea of how you stroke that with your other putter. So what length do you usually set at?
So I usually do 34.5, but then I choke down.
Okay, that's fine. We'll leave it on that so you have the same reference. What grip do you have?
Right now I'm using a Super Stroke 1.0 P17, so it's a rounder but slimmer grip.
I got you. We'll probably just go with the Garson then. It's gonna be kind of closer. Closest one we're gonna have. So this one's at it says 34.75. This one's 34.5. Okay. So that's gonna be kind of the closest that we're gonna have to that.
Yeah. It's a similar visual. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So yeah, perfect.
Yeah, so we'll set this one up as the quote-unquote gamer, and then essentially, so you guys know, Sam will then basically spit out, based on the specifications of the putter that I start with, it'll essentially like spit out the data and what it believes would be essentially the next option to test. And then, hypothetically, you can run this test as many times as you want. Usually Sam and a qualified fitter are pretty good at figuring out what a player would fit well into, and then you can make small tweaks from there. So it's a really cool system. It's super easy to use. So if you see one of these, I think there's even like big box retailers are starting to get some stuff like this too, which is cool. But yeah, incredibly easy to use. The other thing with Sam is it's incredibly easy to understand. And the reason I like putter fittings just in general, I think you learn more about your stroke in a putter fitting than you do about your swing in any other type of fitting.
Oh, absolutely.
Right? Like, because I was telling Jim this earlier on the podcast, in a putter fitting, you kind of have two options. Like, you either come in with something that you love, but Sam tells you it sucks. Sam will also say, like, it stinks for your stroke because your stroke is doing this, so you can adapt your stroke to the thing you love. Yes. Or you can say, well, I'm going to putt the way I'm putting for the rest of my life, and just put a piece of equipment in your hands that's better for that thing. Yeah. So it's a quick, like, that's why I like Sam. It doesn't overcomplicate it, but it gives you a full story very concisely. It's cool.
The main thing I do like about Sam too is, like you said, big thing you said, qualified fitter. it has such info on there that I do think a lot of people can just say whatever to make you believe something.
Yeah, 100%.
But one thing I like doing is after the first one, I'd like to say I like to see a little more of this in there. That way, if you do see it on the next one, they're like, oh, he already said this.
Yeah.
Not, oh, that looks better because you're doing something different.
Yeah,
you know, so it's
sure.
like it's a good. It does, like you said, it is way more in depth on what your stroke looks like.
Yeah.
Over like what your swing looks like on a full swing.
100%.
So that's great. You know, typically what you're going to do on this is when we go through a fitting, don't necessarily have to, but we always try to be like, if you line the ball up, line the ball up. If you sit behind it and you put it down like you're marking the ball, go through the same routine and the same stroke.
Okay.
That way it's not like you're hitting your stroke on the putting green.
Yeah.
This is what you're going to do. It's going to put you more susceptible into like being in the moment of like actually making a new putt each time.
Okay.
That way you're not adjusting and doing things like that.
Yeah. Okay. So I don't do much, which is kind of funny.
Perfect.
I usually just line up the face.
Those are the easy ones.
Yeah, I usually just line up the face and then I kind of just go.
And so we do a little something different here. We don't let you see it.
Oh.
I know a lot of other ones do. We don't, because that way we don't want you adjusting.
I like that.
We want you, that way you don't know whether you push, pulled it, anything like that. That way you're gonna, if you're doing the same thing each time, you're going to continue doing that.
That's so annoying, but I understand it so much.
Gotcha.
It's so helpful, but it's so annoying. Yeah.
So, basically when you get onto this first page, and this is the reason I like this, is because I don't really need, when I'm fitting a SeeMore putter, to see all the frequencies and variations of everything that's going on.
Okay.
I more look at your path and kind of like what you're doing at impact.
Okay.
So like your loft, your dynamic. My two main things that I'm seeing on this right now are going to be your actual, like how much your face is opening and closing.
Yeah.
That's going to tell me a lot of what I'm going to fit you for.
Sure.
Like if you don't have a lot going on, I'm probably going to stay very face balanced unless I see something wrong up here, and then I'll try to get more toe hang to get you to move it more.
Okay.
So I'm trying to find a variance between your path and how much you're opening and closing it. I think that's pretty good, like fit for the way your stroke is going.
Okay.
The other thing that I see a lot with these is a little bit of a loop, just on those.
Sure.
That's also not really the putter you normally putt with, so there's a little different thing.
Okay.
But the other thing is impact. Your 0.2 close at impact. Great.
Yeah.
What usually I see if you're 0.2 closed at impact, you're probably more closed at address because there's a little bit of a toe hang on that.
Okay.
And which is going to create a little bit of a lag. And this is just for the average, everyday, not somebody who spends 8 hours on a putting green person, like, because I work at a putting place and I still don't putt as much as the pro does. So, it's not bad. You have one, I think, that was just a little outside of, all the rest of them are still inside your arc and on a pretty good arc. So I think your overall, even when I look at this, probably your overall rotation is going to be good.
Okay.
So, aim 1.9 close.
That's
It's
about right.
just
Yeah,
normal.
which you called. Yeah.
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 It's like, well, most people, what they do is they get so used to a putter because there's always a tendency for you to, when you putt like that, you're going to do the kind of a similar thing each time.
Yeah.
So if that lag's open 1.5 degrees each time, you're going to start to reach straight as 1.5 degrees left.
Yeah.
Because when you aim 1.5 degrees left, you started on where you wanted to go.
Exactly.
So that's straight.
So you inherently kind of fix it. Yeah.
So your mind recognizes that 1.5 close is straight because that's just where the ball starts on where you want it to go.
Gotcha.
So that's kind of a relearning thing that I think is hardest when people kind of go to a SeeMore is the first thing you do. And I almost don't want to say this because I want to see if you do it.
Sure.
But the first thing they do is when they get the other putter in their hand, they aim at the same place and then hit it straight. Mm-hmm. And then they're like, oh my gosh, because it closes for you. It's not fighting you, because when I say fighting, the beautiful thing about one of these, and I don't know if you've already done this with them, beautiful thing about a SeeMore putter is any of these heel shafted putters, and this is across the industry. I think there might be one other company that it's a little different. Not going to talk about it. Anyways, we can edit that out. But any of your like heel shafted putters are typically going to work like this. And they are going to just want to stay open because there is so much weight in the toe, and that is just physics. And we've seen that famous club company that talks about this. But anyways, so we go over here, and I'm gonna get one of our center shafted putters, and it doesn't matter. All the SeeMore center shafted putters do this exact thing. So with our center shafted putters, you do the same thing, and the putter stays square. Again, go back to a heel shafted putter, any of them, a different heel shafted putter, do the same thing.
And
that's where it wants to stay. This one's a little bit less than that one. This one's a little bit more balanced. This one would be easier to putt with. But they all do it. And that's kind of the basis of when you mix our rifle scope. Our rifle scope is so important because that's the basis of everything. If you do that, you don't really need to know about the other part of it.
Yeah.
But the basis of why we do that on the rifle scope is, for one thing, the main thing is just alignment. Straight. It's easy to do. If I do this, I see I'm off, right?
Yeah.
But if I change where this is, the rifle scope is, or I try to forward press on this, I have now changed the balance of the putter. And the whole balance of the putter is based on our putter coming back in between the scope. So if you're coming back into it like this, you're not allowing that face balance at impact to actually take, control.
Okay.
So that's kind of, it's a yes and a no, it's this, it's that. But the beautiful thing about it is, that's why I have this, because if you push the putter this way, it's going to want to open.
Yeah.
You push the putter this way, it's going to want to close, which is going to change the dynamic of the putter.
Yeah.
So that's why they balance together.
But it's stopping that from happening at address instead of trying to fight it.
Fight it and do this, and you'll feel it a lot with ours because it's so balanced. You'll start to see things, and I think that's why anybody I fit with a SeeMore putter, I tell them all the time, this is going to be a lesson in itself for the next 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah.
You're going to learn tendencies about yourself to be like, oh, I am aiming over here.
Yeah, absolutely.
I need to be aimed a little bit more on this. And it's actually going to help correct some of the things that have happened from putting with, some putters that are kind of lacking in the, same technology that all the other clubs have now.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you got that. Then the next one. This one's my big one. That's just launch. It's probably because on these, you're used to putting with a putter that you put your hands forward.
Yeah.
So when I saw you kind of cock a little bit.
Yeah.
Also, I noticed one thing in there. Your ball is center of the stance. And what we push with SeeMore, because of where your hands are, we push that the putter's in the center of the stance and the ball's just in front of it.
Okay.
Every time. Now, if you're forward pressed a little bit, so you lean a little bit on it, you're going to move it up a little bit because you want it right where that fall point is.
Yeah, okay.
What's happening with that, with it being back like that with the SeeMore, you're actually hitting kind of down on it, with a slightly up motion. So the putter's still coming down because you're de-lofted, but the hands are going up.
But it's almost like cutting it, kind of. Yeah, okay.
So you're producing topspin on it.
Okay.
So I would rather see top than back any day, but yeah, and what we do is, because we see this, we'll give a little lesson, kind of be like, this is where you want to stroke this from, this is what you kind of want to feel. Sure. See, if you do that, you'll usually see this kind of go up in numbers and get you to a more neutral place, but even if it's a little down, then we start messing with loft. Okay. Not off your first one, I'm going to be like, oh, you're a 4.7.
Yeah.
No, it's like, we'll work with that and then see what it does. Because to me, a good fitting comes with like a little mini lesson. Sure. Because you don't want to be fit for something if you're just...
Yeah, for putters especially. For putters,
it's not going to help. That's pretty consistent. Again, on here, when you see this screen of where the contact is on the putter face, that's a very exaggerated view of it. So over here, it's showing that it looks like he's hitting it out here. Yeah. When in actuality, it's kind of more like just outside of center. Okay. Like I said, amount of rotation, 90%. Yeah. It's not my first rodeo. That was more just said so you know I'm not full of baloney. But no, rotational consistency is good because you did consistently do the same thing. Okay. Usually, and this is the other weird thing about like SeeMore, usually, sometimes it's not, because when you get a new putter in your hand, it's different, it's weird. But usually if I see this on here, I'm not going to see much of a change. Maybe in the consistency I won't see much of a change. That's where I'll see the change. Okay. Where I'll see, because you're already using a putter well.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, sure.
So it's like it's like you're not maxing your numbers out, but it's hard to get higher. Like once you get those higher, it's hard to really see it.
It's a smaller
You might
increment
see a
to move up.
3% increase,
Yeah.
you know? But what you see overall is the overall consistency goes up. A lot of that, like with these, normally you'd see that above about 80 it should be.
Okay.
But a lot of that's just because it was slightly out to the toe, and it was just because you were putting topspin on it.
Sure.
So it's saying overall, it's not your overall consistency in how you stroke, it's your overall consistency in what you're going to get on the green.
Okay.
And with that spin, it's going to be a different distance.
Yeah.
So that's why it's low. If we can get the other two things fixed and get those worked on, and we might even see these numbers jump. I have seen them jump. You're going to see that drastically go up.
Okay.
So, yeah, and this is where I usually make that suggestion.
Cool.
And the fact that you putt it pretty well with something that has toe hang on it,
Yeah.
I would usually keep you in that.
Okay.
Like if or something that has a drag on it like that.
Sure.
Like this is a face balance one, but it's going to putt when you take it back. It's still going to want to open more.
Yeah.
Where our almost like face balance putters are so balanced they don't move much at all, and our toe hang putters almost move like a heel shafted, face balance.
Gotcha.
Somebody came in with a center shaft face balance one, I'd probably just keep them on that if they're putting well with it.
Gotcha.
This is the MFGP2 Nashville version. Again, this has got a little bit of toe hang on it, but not a super amount.
Okay.
But like I said, it's going to work more in that stroke, kind of like what you're used to feeling with that heel shafted one.
Sure. Okay.
So, let me get this one set up.
It's like every time, I'm like, I wonder if he's gonna do it again.
He's gonna miss. He's gonna miss this one.
Like one of these, he's just gonna let me see it go in the hole. Ooh. I felt the loop in that one.
Something I think also with these, they're so balanced that you can feel what it does pretty easily.
Yeah.
Because he got me. He got me. I told you I swing and a miss occasionally.
There's a goaltender doesn't mean you can't score.
Yep.
Yeah, burn that left edge.
All right.
I do that a lot.
Wow. So when you go in there with this, you might actually be an FGP person. I've never met one. You would be one that I would actually, and I hardly ever do this, you would be one that I would actually put maybe 2 or 3 putters in just to experiment with.
Okay.
Because you didn't do anything, again, you didn't do anything that I would have imagined you would do with that putter normally.
Okay.
So I just gave you something that has more toe hang, and you actually took it straighter.
Yeah.
Which is not, you know what I mean? So it's,
yeah.
and that's not a bad thing. It's nothing on you or anything like that. It's just what you wouldn't normally, think that.
Yeah.
It's not. But it did. Let's see where you were on this. So you aimed it. Oh, back. So you aimed it 2.5 close, and you were 1. So you're still pretty consistent because of that toe hang on the 1.5 closing.
Okay.
So because I think you're like 1.9 and then 0.2 or something.
Yeah.
So yeah, but there's the one you looped.
Yeah, I could feel it. That's funny too, because like,
You're like,
when I did it, I was like,
looped that
"Ooh,
one."
that's gonna be an interesting."
Yeah, there's
little
that
path.
pink one right
Yeah.
there is a loopy. Crazy though. That's just. Like I said, I told you it was but there we go. We got you a little more neutral. Just in that in itself.
Yeah.
Got a little more neutral. I'm also going to do something with the FGP first before I fit you into it.
Okay.
And then I'm going to it's just small tweaks. And I meant to do it before that one.
Okay.
But then when I got over it, I was like, I didn't show him this.
Sure.
Right now, you've got the putter, you've got the ball, like right here,
Yeah.
dead center, so your putter's behind.
Okay.
We want the putter dead center and the ball just in front.
Okay.
And a lot of this is also why that's happening. Where if
Gotcha.
you get it in front, you're going to feel like you're kind of hitting a little more up, a little more loft on it.
Okay.
Whatever, that's one thing. Another thing that I do want to get is just to kind of get ball position. So this is a lefty mirror, but it'll still work for what I'm trying to do. So just set up kind of over this, set up to the ball, and I just kind of want to see where all your When you look at yourself in the eyes, where are you? Like where on that board is that?
Right here. That's my eyes. Like right in the middle. Right in the middle of the gray and the red, yeah.
Yep. Okay, so set back up to it. On this one, move just a hair closer to it. And even if you choke down just a little bit, you want to have at least the eyes on this red spot.
Yeah, so they're right on that red line right now.
Which is crazy that you're taking it outside and you're that far in, because it's like you're a conundrum. You kind of want to feel where that red dot is hidden in the putter. So if you're taking it out like this,
Yeah.
you're going to see a red dot. But if you're taking it like kind of back, like it's supposed to be, that's how it's going to have to feel. And it's going to feel like it's a lot more inside than your current putter because of the way it's kind of working. Yeah, there we go.
Well,
A little more consistent on your putter, like on the actual like putter face.
okay.
5 out of 7 were dead center, and then one was a little heeled, one was a little toed. That's also probably because of, just the takeaway.
Yeah.
Just because of the way it like felt. And then overall, you went down just a little bit, but your still amount of rotation and rotational consistency were almost like spot on the same numbers.
Okay.
So it didn't really hurt the
Yeah.
the arc was off, but
Yeah.
the rotation for on the putter was still good. So
Okay.
it's just more like just trying to figure out the plane of like where to take that putter back.
Yeah.
Do me a favor, aim this one just a little more right. A little more.
More?
Yeah, right there.
Get bored. Don't challenge me with a good time.
That grouping.
All of those putts missed the left edge. Do it to him. Ah.
So I did notice one thing. I'm gonna go back probably with you. I think more than anything, you could rebuild that 0.9. So you got 0.9 close on impact just because of how far you were aimed left. You were aimed 4 on that one. But that is, for one thing, we moved the ball up, so you're gonna look a little differently.
Sure.
It's gonna be a little bit in front, so you're looking a little bit more from behind it. Another thing is, I think it's probably just one top sight line probably doesn't line up well for you.
Okay.
I think you would probably be more, it would probably be better, like, the most important thing with you would be a sight line.
Okay.
Like, and so I'm going to, yeah, we'll see.
Okay.
I think I'm going to put you on that. M5X is probably, which was almost what I went with just because you're used to a face balance. Neutral though. There you go, 1.3 up, 2.2, and I like to see anything between about 2.2 and 2.8.
Yeah, this one felt more control, that impact, I guess is the right way to say
it's very balanced.
Yeah, it just felt much more.
There's another
neutral.
one, if you like the way how controlled that felt at balance, and that's the one you like, there's 2 face balance. One's an M7X and one's an M5X, and I'll show both to you. And they're very the same way. They're very stable.
Sure.
Because that is a very stable putter. So just a little Allen toe on a couple of those. That was no different than yours. That rotational consistency went down.
Yeah.
But your amount of rotation was the same. That's what I figured. I just wanted to see that.
Yeah. We said that going into it. You were just kind of like, I wonder what happened here. Yeah. All right.
So these are the other 2, and this is what I almost went with at first. Typically what I do is if you're putting a dynamic well, I stay with the dynamic, but this time I veered off of that because of the way your stroke was.
Sure.
And the way it was moving. I was like, dude, he looks like the way he's stroking it would be more toe hang. But normally if you're putting and you do put a good stroke on it and it's face balance, I usually stay with face balance. This time I said I didn't, and I wish I kind of did because I think like that's what we're going to end up with anyways. So those are the 2. It's just pretty much a blade version, and don't mind this shaft. Yeah. This is just fitting shaft. But those are the difference. They're both our most stable ones. They're going to have a lot of stability just like that one. They also have a back sight line, which I think is probably more than anything just because of the way you aimed the first one. I think that's probably a little bit better. And since you said you had a mallet before, you know, you said you had the mallet, that you have a little bit more of something behind it.
Yeah, because I play the double wide, so I would go into something more this
like
way.
that.
Yeah, I would go more to this. Yeah. Yeah, this looks great. All right. Okay, so I like the look of this one the best, if that means anything.
So aim a little. You're gonna have to aim a little further right. And I'm gonna go through you on this. Go through it. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Right. 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 That's about square right there.
What?
Mm-hmm. Go right. That's square.
Good Lord.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Shit.
That's what I said. That's what I'd say. I was like, hey, the beautiful thing is whenever I see this problem, I always give them a complimentary triangulator to go with them. Nope. Which is fine. Yep. You're a center shaft person. You're a face balance.
Okay.
Like, now we got it more of back on the inside of that line again.
Yeah.
So it's just what I guess your hands are just used to feeling.
Yeah.
So that says 2.7 open, but that's probably also because I got you back to square. Oh, I went past it. Yeah, so we had you at 0.5 open. So 2.7, so you're right. So a little bit more on that one.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of that's also like maybe trying to pull a little bit across it, which makes it stay open a little bit more.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just naturally, you know. But I just want to see. So your spin is still neutral with this, though. That's a good thing. It's not as high as I'd want it to be.
Okay.
But that's okay. I think that one's a little more de-lofted anyways. I think with that one, I actually had my hands a little bit further back than on the other two. Because I had actually been putting them up there where you kind of put your hands.
Okay.
Like I always put mine on. Mine always kind of touches the left edge of the lawn.
Gotcha.
That's where mine sits, right on that bottom edge, just a hair. And I usually set it there. And I think on that last one, I just set it normal.
Gotcha.
But I think we can still get, I usually got 3 on mine and I do that. So we can do the same thing. It's not a bad grouping, especially considering where I had you line up.
Yeah.
You know, which is so new to you.
A little bit closer to the ball, too.
Mm-hmm. So amount of rotation, 92. I'm not, when I'm doing that with you know, when I'm doing this, like that part of it with you.
Yeah, because we didn't do
I'm
stuff.
not worried about the rotational consistency because
Yeah.
I'm literally telling you to move over here, do this,
Yeah, for
line
sure.
here, because so now you're going to do something different anyways. But still with the fact that I'm putting you on the right line, which is not what you're used to.
Yeah.
And your rotation, your amount of rotation with that is still 92%. That's good.
Yeah.
So,
Sweet.
and yeah, like I said, sometimes it's hard to get those numbers to go up. A lot of times they do go down after I give them a little lesson with it
Yeah.
because you're doing something.
Yeah, it's
new.
something new. Yeah, yeah.
But like
totally.
when you put another putter in your hand, you still did the same thing with it.
Yeah.
So your numbers are still good.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think those numbers will go up just after you get used to it, and it wouldn't take more than probably, 2 or 3 days of practice, and you're probably going to change that a degree. And
Yeah.
then you're also going to allow that putter to kind of swing.
Yeah, to do it. Yeah.
Because you're used to kind of, like I said, just kind of holding it.
Yeah.
And on that, if you just kind of let it go with you, for me, I had to realize, when I was first putting, it felt like, I putted great with a normal putter, then went to SeeMore and I had to learn some other things. And with me, this is not everybody. So this is not something I'm telling anybody to go home and be like, this is going to fix your putting.
Yeah.
But for me, my personal feel versus real when I had to putt was I feel like my shoulder kind of went a little more up and left.
Sure.
And it allowed my putter to be able to release to where I was holding on to it a little bit.
Yeah, I think for me, it's definitely hard to let the putter kind of swing and let the putter kind of do the work it wants to do. That's hard for me versus trying to control the head through the entirety of the stroke.
Yeah, well, you've had to.
Yeah.
I mean, even in, the putter's the only, every club besides like your lower torque, face balance and impact putters, all that, every club kind of mimics everything else. The issue is when you're coming down, you have your body to help square up all that other, toe lag and to help the weight to get your, club to finish through.
Sure.
With a putter, you're not using this to square up.
Yeah.
You're rocking and rocking. If I rock and rock and have something fighting me, it's always going to want to do this.
Yeah.
So now you have to worry about, and you probably just, like I said, aimed a little close with it, let it do that, and now you're trying to feel the same thing of like letting it hang open with this, and you don't have to.
Yeah.
Because it's not, you're not having to manipulate it closed.
Yeah.
So you're trying to get the putter kind of where you're used to feeling it, where it's going to feel closed.
Yeah,
like it's going to
absolutely.
feel when it comes through, it's going to feel. So what I do with anybody who has a problem with kind of like lining up, especially with a SeeMore, I don't want him lining up 2.5 closed or 2 degrees closed, because
Yeah.
our putters are wanting to square it up each time. So don't develop a bad habit. Get him in the right position to allow him to let the putter do the work, because once you're in those positions and you see that every time I'm in this straight position, I miss it right edge,
Yeah.
you're going to adjust.
Yeah.
Your body's going to be like, well, what can I do differently? And you
Yeah.
might take a couple different things, but you find this like rhythmic, like, oh, that's it.
Yeah.
And then you can do the same thing over and over again. But I always get, we have these triangulators. You can get yours at SeeMore.com. But yeah, they're like $10 normally. I usually, if I have a fitting with me and we have this problem, I kind of toss one with them anyways.
Sure.
Because it's just nothing but a help. But you just take this, set it kind of down where you want it to be, whatever. I'll usually put 2 T's down to hold it. And then you'll go over here. And I usually find it like wherever my line is going to be, say it's just a dead straight putt from 8 feet, and that's what I'm working on.
Okay.
I'll get like a T right here, and I'll like lightly tie it to where I can get the knot back out of it real quick, you know, one of those loose knots.
Yeah.
But then I'll sit there and I'll put it, like say that's my T, and I got it dead center, and that's going to be where I'm working on alignment. I'm
Yeah.
going to take this, I'm going to pull it to, and I'm going to make sure that this is dead in that track. Not kind of over here, not over there, but dead center of that track. You know, if I pull it over, it slides a little bit.
Sure.
So right there. I usually just kind of sit that. You don't have to put the T's in there because you're not really using it. And then I'll put permanent marker. Just draw a dark line
Okay.
over that. And then I'll pull this up. I'll put it there or whatever. And it gives me a point of reference. It gives me a line
Yeah.
to where I can literally set my putter directly behind it and know that that's what's aimed straight at the hole. It's more just to retrain your eyes on what straight looks like.
Yeah,
So that's, yeah.
Because to me, that looks like I'm a ball outside the right. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Which is
So,
great.
I mean, so you do that and then you just putt over it. And
Yeah.
you just keep putting over that line. You put over that line. Beautiful thing is if you have a mirror or something with a little slit in it, like you can buy like one of our SeeMore mirrors. I always kind of do this. I'll get over that. And then when I'm working on my actual path of my stroke or whatever,
Yeah.
you can take this after you've drawn that line and you can just set and be like, all right, I'm going to work on path now. And just set that one directly over that line and know that it's just aimed straight as a
Yeah.
hole. So all of our kind of aids kind of
I like that. Yeah. It all
like kind of
goes
work
together.
with each other.
Cool.
But like that's kind of the biggest thing that I kind of work on, and I'll always work on is alignment, because if you're not doing it every day, your eyes shift.
Yeah,
Like if it's been
100%.
2 or 3 days that you haven't
Yeah.
putted and you come out and you're like, I'm missing it left edge. Chances are it's not that your stroke's gotten bad. Chances are it's just that that's what your eye is seeing
Eyes.
is straight that
Okay.
day. Like it's just left edge is
Yeah,
straight
that's just
edge.
what happened.
So it's
Yeah,
like,
that's what happened. Yeah.
quick fix, knock a little right until
Yeah.
it messes up again. You
Yeah,
know, like,
exactly.
but like
Yeah.
if you have time to practice it, just go out there and put like a triangulator down or something that's straight and work on your just alignment.
Yeah.
So.
All right. So you're thinking let's build up an M7X?
Yep.
All right.
After I saw that your path looked better.
Yeah, for
with
sure.
that than anything
Feels really
else,
good
so
too. I like the look of it. Like this is comfortable. So
It's stable.
Yeah.
Is what it is.
Very
It's
so. Yeah, other than that, thanks for having me out. Thanks for doing this. Thanks for taking the time.
Mm-hmm.
This was, like I said, I learned something new about something every time I do a fit, and this was an eye opener for sure.
yeah.
So I appreciate
Yeah.
it.
We got you lined right.
Yeah, that's great. All right. Thanks.